welcome back to my channel. My name is TK Hlongwane. Full name Tsakani Hlongwane. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. And if you're a regular, thank you so much for always stopping by. I really appreciate your love and support. So this is the first sit down for the month of October, and there's something that's been on my mind all morning and just for a few years now. And also, just now thought about it. I'm like, you know what, impromptu, let me record. I want to talk about prayer, but more specifically when you're being carried in prayer and the difference it makes in your life. And I'm going to give you a few examples of time in my life that I felt like when I was too weak, to utter the words. I am so grateful that I have a community of people in my life who pray for me, without me asking. And sometimes, yes, they check on you and ask you how you're doing, and you're honest, and they pray for you. And I've seen it in my life and the difference it makes. Sure, why am I getting emotional thinking about this? Okay, let's pull ourselves towards ourselves. You praying is important. That cannot be taken away. You are building that relationship with God. You keep in contact. You guys are good. Just like any relationship. Talking, communicating, understanding each other makes the relationship good, right? That's it, right? However, there's times in your life where you are going through a season and prayer becomes a bit tricky. So I'll give you an example of just my season right now. I'm going through a difficult season. Do not be confused by the glow, by the smile. I'm not even pretending. The season is hard, you know what I'm saying? However, God is still good. There's still a lot of things that I look at and be like, you know what? We thank you, Jesus. And I've got good habits with regards to my skincare. So the glow cannot run away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's business. But just back to being prayed for. And I know as people, when people tell us stuff, we quick to say, I'm praying for you. How often do we really do that? Where you pray for someone? Be honest, Do you pray for someone? So I've learned not to say I'm praying for you if I don't mean it, or not to say I'm praying for you when I haven't started praying yet. So I will report that I'm praying for you after I've already started the process of praying for you. But I'm not going to say it up front because I want to be a liar and saying that I'm praying for you when I have not even started doing that. In 2020, it was a difficult year, right? That girl COVID came through, and I separated from my husband in May of 2020 during lockdown, right? And in the same year, obviously because of lockdown and COVID, then there was restructuring at work. So our jobs were at stake. You had to reapply for own jobs, and there were less, the workforce became less. Same year, I remember there was a time I went to my, my GP, general practitioner, just for my regular pap smear, and girl was surprised to see the size of my stomach because of the fibroids. And a lot of people who've known me and see me all the time thought I was lying where fibroids are concerned, because I hid it well. But when she saw me, she saw a 4-month pregnant woman. I remember she was even taking pregnancy tests, and I was like, girl, I can tell you for free, there's nothing in there and everything. So in that year, so I separate, then there's restructuring at work, then I needed to go for an op to remove my fibroids because my doctor freaked out. I had known for a year that I had fibroids, and I've been looking at like, okay, I must probably see if I can not shrink them myself or find alternatives. But the way she freaked out, I remember leaving that place so sad because of how she reacted. She made an appointment for me with a gynae and everything, and stuff. But I'm grateful that she did that. So imagine, here you are, you separated. I had to move in with my sister for 3 weeks. It was meant to be 2 weeks, but it ended up being 3 weeks because I started from scratch. So I had to buy a new bed, and it took long to deliver. So there I was. And then what is the next thing? Then there's restructuring at work. You're doing interviews for 1 or 2 positions, and then you are going to hospital for what could take 3 to 4 days, but ends up taking 7.5 days in hospital. And during that time, when I think back, I remember the first time that I leave my home after years of really working on my relationship, on my marriage, and giving my best, like my very best. You know, I can sit with my chest. My ex-husband can even testify. I gave that marriage my all. So I have no regrets. I have no regrets. Like I gave 200% into it, you know. And then it's still not working out. And saying, God, wow, you know what I'm saying? You can do your best, and sometimes your best is not enough. And here is this discomfort in my body with these fibroids. I'm always tired, my back hurts. I am uncomfortable in my clothing. It's just a weird situation. And now, luckily, I've got medical aid, but you know, I can go and get it sorted. But I was in a season where I was just tired, like emotionally, physically, mentally tired. And for those who've been here for long, I've mentioned this before, and those who are close to me, I remember my prayer to God at some point was, give me a break. Give me a break is all I could say. Because I was like, I will. Because even with the job thing, I wasn't working hard on it. I just went for interviews, and I was just like, God, give me a break. Because I was like, I can't be losing all the time. You know what I'm saying? But what carried me through that season was every person who prayed for me. You know, when you feel in your spirit that you're prayed for, you don't have the words to talk to God, but people are praying for you. Even people are not telling you that they're praying for you, but you feel it in your heart that, you know what, I'm being lifted up. Somebody is lifting me up in prayer, and I can feel it. And hence I'm saying to you guys, it is so important that when you say you're going to pray for people, you do exactly that. You know, carry them. A sense of community, knowing that when I cannot support myself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, there's people who are supporting me. So if there's people in your life who are going through a season that is hard, sometimes they don't tell you. Like me, I'm not much of a talker about difficult seasons. Like, please, hardly. And not because I'm pretending. I just like, why must we talk about it? Also, I'm a high positive. At some point, I had toxic positivity as my personality. Because like I always say to you guys, I'm a happy-go-lucky. You know, I'm a hippie. Like, ooh, I'm not. Like, why are we sad? Why are we in a bad mood? Like, why? You know? And everything like that. I want to be happy all the time. My name is Tsakani. It means rejoice, be happy. So everything in me is always gravitating towards happiness. So if there's a situation where I have to talk about sadness and there's a fight, there's tension, hey, it drains me. It really, really drains me. Like the week I just had, it drained me. So many things happened that I'm just like, you know? And I remember telling my sister, she was checking how I am, and I, to be honest with you, I'm like, hey, Diabo, I'm going through the hardest time. I'm suffocating. Another friend of mine checked on me yesterday, and it was after me, I had checked on her. I thought she's been quiet. Then she decided to ask how I'm doing, and I told her that I'm suffocating. She said, okay, you know, when you have time, let's meet so we can pray. I'm like, this week is hectic. You can pray for me where you are, and I trust things will happen. I'm going to pray as well. I appreciate you praying for me. We can't meet because realistically, during the week, it's hectic. On weekends, I'm still moving, so I cannot commit to that. But I know your prayer, whatever you say, will be enough, you know? And to tell you the truth, this morning, I woke up so much lighter. Are the things that were scaring me about this week still ahead of me? Yes, they're still there. But my state of mind is different because I know I'm prayed for. I know there's people who are supporting in prayer. And I've prayed myself. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I say to God, and I tell people my relationship with God is very different from how it was before. I used to be religious. I was brought religiously, you know, been a Christian all my life. And there's certain ways and rituals that you are taught and ways of doing things. And then you grow up and you develop your own personality in a Christian, in your relationship with God. And your prayer to God becomes very honest, very real, you know. There's certain things I ask God that I cannot repeat here because we're not all open, excuse me, to that. So I will not. But those who are close to me that I'm comfortable to talk to about these things, I tell them the things that I've asked God for. And I feel that He's granted because I think He's got a sense of humor. But I think that things are not as deep as we always think they are. Therefore, you can really speak to God, yes, with respect, but with a very almost casual kind of way, so that when you come to God, you're able to come to God as yourself. And that's my relationship. I'm not putting it on in anyone else. If you still love a formal relationship with God, yay, it's working for you, enjoy it. But my relationship with God right now is very much like as I am. The personality you see with me when I'm alone praying with God is very different, you know what I'm saying? And then we pray throughout the day. It's not always just kneeling down with a Bible in front of me. Sometimes it's prayer as I drive out of the complex, you know, and I turn left or right, and I give thanks that I have a good memory to know which way to turn that day, because I work in multiple places every day. I don't have the same route that I use, you know, so things like that. I pray to God. I pray to God and thank Him for, you know, the people who go out of their way to be of service to me, you know, and everything, like randomly and stuff. And I come back home and I pray for my family, for this and that. But it's in a way that I can relate to, and I believe God relates to me the way I am, you know, where I'm not trying to be anything. I'm not trying to sound like anybody. It's just me. Can I be influenced by others? Yes, just like in everyday living, I am influenced by others. However, I come here as TK, you know what I'm saying? And He accepts me as I am. He entertains my prayers sometimes, and I'm just like, God, you did that, thank you. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest thing that I wanted us to talk about today is that how you listening to this and watching this video, how your prayer is so important. You praying for others, holding them up in prayer. It can never, you don't know what it does. And people may not come back to you and report that, you know what, I felt prayed for today. And I know that. I know that I'm loved because of how when people carry me in prayer, I know that one, God is with me. I cannot fail. There's people in my life who want to see me succeeding. There's people who want to see the best in me, and you know, all that jazz. And I give thanks knowing that, you know what, it's going to be all right. So if you are ever nudged and you know you feel led to pray for me, to pray for anyone, a stranger or someone that you know, keep doing it, because of the difference it will make in their lives. Doesn't remove our responsibilities to pray for ourselves, but also to remind us that when we are in a good space, that we must also pray for others. Sometimes we're not in a good space, and maybe praying for yourself is hard. Pray for the next person. You have no idea what it will do to them. I think this was a short video, but it's all right. I hope you got the message. Keep praying. Pray for others. Pray for yourself. And keep your word when you say you're going to pray for someone. You have no idea what it does for them. All right, my name is TK Shongwane. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and do leave a comment. Ciao.